like all we've got to do is open the number 9 door.
Huh?
What are you talking about?
Look at your bracelet.
It says 10. I have 10 BP?
I've got 15 BP? That means I got 6 more points while I was out.
But how?
How?
You've been asleep for more than 2 hours. You've played the AB game 3 times.
3 times?
Yes. Of course, the coloring group assignments were shuffled around each time. But no matter who voted, everyone chose Ally. Well, not everyone chose Ally. Looks over to Dio. And now all of us have enough to leave.
It sure is a good thing that Dio, Phi, and Sigma never got paired up, huh?
Yeah.
That could have been bad. I was stunned. How had everyone cooperated long enough to raise all of our BP past 9? Was it because Akane hadn't been killed? Without a death to start things off, maybe we'd been less suspicious of one another. Yeah, that's what happens, because we all know that fucking Alice is never suspicious in this timeline at all. Or could the bombs?
It's amazing how much people are willing to work together when Dio's not stirring the fucking pot.
No fucking shit. Or could the bombs have something to do with it? We'd all joined forces against Dio, and Phi and I had been able to disarm all of them. All of us had banded together against a common enemy and overcome a tremendous threat. Perhaps that had strengthened our bond? Which I had to admit would be somewhat ironic. After all, Dio had planted the bombs that forced us all to work together against him. This must have been what Akane was talking about.
Haven't I told you death was unavoidable? Sacrifices had to be made for the sake of the project. Come on, let's go. Let's open the door and get out of here.
Wait. What about him? After some discussion, we decided to leave Dio behind.
Good!
Fucking rip!
Alice was the only holdout. She'd complained about wanting to take him back to her superiors, but after I mentioned they'd come back to investigate after we escaped and deal with Dio then, she reluctantly complied.
Right! Let's get going!
Everybody ready? I'm gonna open it.
Yes, just get on with it.
Everyone else swallowed and nodded. I grabbed the lever and pulled it down.
No, we need to go. We need to do something. Why do you do that? Sigma, why do you do that? Sigma, are you about to go back in?
The number 9 door has been opened. It will remain open for 9 seconds. Alright, everybody, let's move! I didn't need to tell them twice. The room inside was clearly a loading elevator. It looked sort of like a large plate on top of a huge pedestal. We ran to the center of the plate and it turned around. The number 9 door stood wide open. 2, 1, 0. The number 9 door is closing.
Suck it, Dio.
The number 9 door has closed. This ends the nunnery game. Thank you for your participation. As the game is over, all doors other than the number 9 door have been unlocked.
Looks like we did it.
Yes. We should keep moving.
Now let's jump down the elevator shaft.
Beyond the door was a wide hallway that ended in a very solid wall. Left, we found a very familiar-looking door. We pushed it open and went in. The pressure exchange chamber.
You know what this place is?
Yeah, sort of. This whole facility is pressurized, apparently. I think the idea is to keep the air outside and consequently the virus from getting inside. That means that if we want to go out, we have to decompress so that we match the outside air pressure. This room here is where you prepare for going into the actual pressure exchange room. You see all those suits along the wall? I figure we need to put those on and head into the decompression room downstairs.
Whoa, hold on a minute. You're saying the air outside is full of that horrible virus?
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Of course, according to Akane, we were already infected with Radical Sick, so the whole room seemed a little pointless.
Well, half of us. The other half is either cured or robots.
Why? How did all this happen?
Did they?
No! That's not possible. We've come this far. We can't turn back now. Let's go outside. There's no way to know what's really going on until we do. Alright.
No one else objected. We all donned the protective suits and headed downstairs to the decompression room.
We don't know how Kay got into their compression suit, but it happened.
All
Should-
he did was say, for the company.
As soon as we were all inside, the process began. Through my helmet, I could hear the soft hiss of air being sucked out of the room. We stood there for several minutes, waiting for the process to finish. At last it did, and we heard the door begin to open. Beyond it was another decompression chamber. We repeated the process 2 more times before we reached the final door and opened it.
I also want to point out there were only 8 suits.
Yep.
Did Akane know that we didn't take Dio with us?
The dead, bleak landscape wasn't a surprise for me. I'd seen it before in another timeline. The others hadn't, however, and though I couldn't see their faces through the visors of their helmets, I heard more than a few gasps over the radio. For a few long moments, we just stood there, astonished.
Where the hell are we?
Desert, I guess?
I figured that out. I mean, which one?
I don't know, but I think I know what day it is. Look at the moon. It's red, right? That means today's the total lunar eclipse.
So?
Remember the astronomy magazine in the lounge? Well, the next eclipse like this was gonna be on December 31st, 2028. So,
Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Are you suggesting we were sleeping for a week after we were abducted?
I think so.
Wherever we were must have been pretty far away from any city. The air was clearer than I'd ever seen it. And the stars, the sky was full of them. More stars than I'd ever seen in my life. I could even spot the hazy arm of the Milky Way. But the most striking feature was the moon. It was a blood red and massive. Much bigger, in fact, than I remembered it being. Then, as I watched, a black spot began to move across its surface. It was hard to see details, but it looked circular. The spot continued to move across the moon, heading for the right edge. What's that?
The moon. Well, moon shadow, actually.
The moon's shadow? I frowned. That didn't make any sense.
Zero told me to stay quiet. I think he was worried I'd spill the beans on his operation. Said if I didn't toe the line, he wouldn't just kill me, he'd kill Quark too. And I agreed, like an idiot, brought Quark with me. Just so I could see her. Such an idiot. So, that being the case, might as well start with this. I meant what I said before. That up there is the moon's shadow.
What the hell are you saying?
Think about it. If that's the moon's shadow, what's it falling on?
That's Earth?
Yeah. It's not the red moon you get from a lunar eclipse. And again, this isn't a lunar eclipse. It's a solar eclipse. Anybody in the black spot down there is looking up at the moon covering the sun.
What? No, no way! If that's the Earth, then where the hell are we? Sigma.
The moon, of course. This is the lunar surface. We were just inside a moon base. The fuck?
I had my suspicion. I had my
suspicions as well from the Star Fox Zero level. I didn't know it was accurate.
By the way, Luna's name.
By the way, fuck off.
No way. No, you gotta be lying! How do you expect us to believe that? This can't be the moon.
Yeah. That's pretty ridiculous. Besides, if this was the moon, how do you explain the gravity? The moon only has 1/6 of the Earth's gravity. So what's this? It's just the gravity of the situation.
She picked up a rock and dropped it.
See? That looked perfectly normal.
Yes, it looked that way.
Luna.
You were right about the gravity, in a way. I was one of the people who knew this wasn't Earth. Well, suppose I'm not people if we're being honest, but...
Excuse me, what?
Please, just listen. Alice, you were infected with Radical 6. Then we gave you Excelifear, which cured you. Radical 6 isn't completely gone, though. Some of its symptoms stick around for a while.
What symptoms?
Well... Radical 6 can slow down your brain's processing speed by the root of 1/6. It can take a while for your brain to get back up to speed. Every one of us has been infected. In other words, all of our brains have been processing information at a much slower speed. If you evaluated the root... I'm not mathing, Curb. That means our brains are running at something slightly less than half speed. As you said before, the moon's gravity is about 1/6 that of Earth's. The time it takes for an object to fall is inversely proportional. Since the gravity is lower on the moon, that means time increases. I guess that's a little technical. Let me give you an example. Say you are Isaac Newton. It takes approximately 1 second to knock an apple onto your noggin. On the moon, however, that time would be 1 second times root 6, or 2.45 seconds. I used those meters because it matched up with the acceleration of gravity nicely, but could be anything. Gravity constant is a constant. You could drop something from 10 centimeters to 10 meters and it would be the same. No. So now that we've established that on the moon, things fall root 6.
Sorry, I'm an American. What the fuck is a meter?
Oh, I missed this. That being the case, what would happen if someone's brain slowed down by root 1/6? Them, 2.45 seconds would feel like 1 second. 4.9 seconds would feel like 2. But it's not hypothetical. That's what's happening to every one of us. Well, every one of you.
To be fair, it probably is happening to Luna. Her processing speed is just slower.
Yeah. I'm an older
You're-
model.
You're saying that's the reason we didn't notice the weaker gravity?
Are you sure you didn't notice anything? Think back.
Huh?
You and Sigma and Phi said something about it in the lounge. About how you felt weird.
I'm meaning fuck off.
You're good. It seemed insane, but what Luna said made sense. In fact, it explained Phi's apparently superhuman strength quite well.
I was never Superman to begin with!
all this time, that was what this was building towards.
Wait. This is crazy. That can't possibly be the Earth out there. Look at it. I've seen photos of Earth, and it's blue and green and beautiful. That thing is just red. Before we get into that, I should probably tell you something. This isn't New Year's Eve in 2028. Today is January 27th.
In 29?
No.
Don't tell me. 30?
Still no. And just what year is this? It's 74. 2074.
No,
In 50
that's
years from now.
that's insane. That would mean we were abducted more than 45 years ago?
4 plus 5 equals 9. Don't blame me,
Fuck
believe me.
off. Those were all those.
I saw it there and I just immediately went for it.
Fuck off.
I don't blame you if you don't want to believe me. But it's the truth.
How can you be sure?
It's not that hard. Quark and I left Earth on January 23rd, 2074.
Hey, my birthday.
Solar eclipses are pretty easy to predict. I've known there'd be one on the 27th for a long time. That's just science. Nobody can change that.
Hang on a sec.
The Earth is red because it's a communist!
Egad! But why is the Earth red?
No, it's because it's a spy!
See? It'll turn red any moment now.
Gentlemen,
That's a long story. About 45 years ago, on April 13th, 2029, where 18 annihilation reactors operate in various parts of the world. On the 13th, all 18 of them went up, all at the same time. Explosion was about 180,000 times as powerful as the atom bomb they dropped in Hiroshima.
Why?
I suppose it started a few months before that. Government had a test site for a future Mars mission out in the middle of Nevada. December 31st, 2028, there was an accident. Well, accident doesn't quite convey the right sense of the thing. Point is, Radical 6 claimed its first victims there, and escaped. Didn't take long for it to spread to the rest of the world. Like Luna explained, the virus slows your brain down. But eventually, it also makes you kill yourself. Pretty soon, the bodies started to pile up. Some people would take a dive off a building or shoot themselves in the head. You know, the classics. For some it was poison, or fire, or asphyxiation, or the noose. Plenty of people jumped in front of trains or cars. One pilot on a passenger airline drove his plane into the ground. Those forms of transportation ground to a halt pretty fast. That meant food couldn't get distributed, and thousands of people who weren't even infected died from starvation. Everywhere you went, there was just piles of corpses, covered in flies and rats and crows. I don't know what hell's like, but I imagine it's a lot like that. After a while, people who managed to avoid getting infected started trying to get in touch with one another. Got a hold of some radios and organized a couple of meetings. Only one thing to discuss, of course. How could they get rid of Radical 6? The answer, they decided, was purification. Figured they could just roast the surface of the Earth. That'd kill the virus off for good. April 13th, 2029, they put their plan into effect. The plan was to detonate all 18 annihilation reactors.
could you imagine if we got to this point without having to skip so many months and actually got this on, like, in April?
Would have been very good.
Now, the truth is that's mostly just rumor. Nobody really knows what happened. But I got my own theories. I think the bombers had already been infected. When they died, they took billions with them. The ultimate, if I die, you're coming with me gesture, I suppose. I'd bet you money they'd all lost it long before they got to the reactors. Killing most of the world, no matter how bad things had gotten, was not a safe plan. Even if it wasn't directly responsible, Radical 6 killed most of the people on Earth. Anyway, why it happened isn't that important. Point is, it happened. You ever heard of a nuclear winter? Well, that's basically what we got.
Go watch Fallout.
Patrolling the Mojave makes you wish for a nuclear winter. Anyways, the explosions threw a ton of crap up into the stratosphere, where it joined up with smoke and ash. Blotted out the sun for 7 years. Plants withered, animals died by the millions. Few humans who were left banded together to survive. They were rough times. Eventually they were over though. The sky cleared and the sun came back. Plants started blooming again, the animals that hadn't died out completely began to reappear. Things weren't quite back to normal, though. It's been 45 years now, but there's still quite a bit of dust and ash in the air. That's what you're seeing. You know why a sunset's red? Well, this is the same thing. Blue and green light with short wavelengths, and they scatter when they run into debris in the air. Red light, on the other hand, has a longer wavelength, which means it'll get a lot farther when the air's dirty. So there you are. Earth looks red because that's the only color of light that can make it through the atmosphere. Oh no, guys. Warboss's campaign came true.
Shit.
I was speechless. What could I possibly say? There was no reason for Tenmyoji to lie to us. So we were standing on the moon, looking at the Earth. It was 2074. But why? Why were we there? Why were we then? I was so lost in thought, I barely noticed Vi's approach.
Fido.
Sorry, I was muted for a bit. Hey, Sigma. I think I figured something out.
A window popped up in the inside of my helmet with Whisper in the corner. She seemed to be using a circuit only we could hear. Yeah? What is it?
I figured out why there's an extra E.
An extra E? Oh, you mean the graffiti?
Yeah, the one on floor B. I think it's an anagram, just like on floor A.
What's
What?
Anna say this time?
God damn it, Sigma! Knock it off!
Memento mori if the ninth lion ate the sun. If you rearrange those letters, you get... The man on the moon rules the infinite time. See?
What the fuck?
You need 6 E's to get that. So they stuck an extra one in ninth.
The man on the moon rules the infinite time?
I think it's a message for us, from Zero Senior and Akane. Remember what she was telling us.
So, what are you getting at?
My god, you're slow.
Well, I am infected with
Look
Radical
at
6.
Dick.
Yeah.
You don't get it? They're saying we rule the infinite time. Infinite time. Infinite time. They weren't just talking about having us jump a couple hours. I think they're planning to send us back. Way back.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you think they're gonna send us back 45 years?
Yeah, I'd bet on it.
So the ultimate purpose of the AB project is to send us back in time to that catastrophe Tenmyoji was talking about?
I think so.
Doesn't make sense, though. I mean, we came from that same time period. Before it, actually. So why bring us here and then send us back?
Well, Akane should be able to tell us the rest. Let's go pay her a visit.
Do you know where she is?
I've got an idea.
Huh?
Come on, think. Remember what she said when she gave you the key?
Tu fui ego eris.
The grave!
Yep.
The one in the garden!
Well, come on, what are you waiting for? Let's go!
How?
We turned and ran back into the pressure exchange chamber, the others following close behind.
What? What are you doing? Did you forget something?
We're gonna go have a talk with someone.
Who?
You really need me to spell it out? The person behind all this.
You mean Akane?
What?
I'll take that as a yes. Let me accompany you then.
Wait. Why do you know about Akane?
I'll tell you when we get there. Now, if you please,
She was like a mother to me.
I'm coming with you. You folks just said the magic word.
Pretty jumpy over there. I'm going too then.
So am I.
Is this Akane you're talking about?
Yeah. I know her real well.
Wait. You're not. You're serious? What what's going on?
Shut up! Just shut up and come if you want! We don't need to do a roll call! Once we get there, Akane can explain everything. With that, we headed back through the airlock.
How long have you been here?
Back down we go!
All around me are familiar faces.
Worn out place. Wait, how are I didn't think this thing could open back up.
Which
They
thing?
made the number 9 door.
Ah, clever. The number 9 door, door A, is shut forever once the key
Yeah?
closes. Assuming Zero Jr. was telling the truth, of course. But
I
the door,
forgot about the
floor
door
B.
on floor B.
Mm-hmm.
The one that was locked?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought we might be able to take the lift to it, and it looks like I was right.
All doors, aside from the number 9 door, have been unlocked.
All doors. Wait. Does that mean people could leave from the floor B door?
I mean, it's not locked, but it is still a massive fucking door, and there's no terminal to open it, so...
There.
Yeah, they said there was no way to open it from that side. Quote,
That side. Yep!
You know, that's fitting considering all the, like, one-way doors that were on floor B.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Any idea where Akane might be?
Yeah, the grave.
You mean the grave of the god?
Yeah. Don't worry, I don't think she's buried there or anything. Chances are she's alive, just in the grave. Anyway, let's move to the garden.
Of course. One last fucking time.
I'd be shocked if it actually was one last time.
I don't want to do it again.
We're definitely getting there. This is like, I want to say the second to last scene. I think it's been a hot minute, but we're getting there. There might be a couple more.
Tu fui ego eres.
Is Akane really under there?
I think so.
What should we do? Are we going to dig around?
No, I don't think we'll have to do anything like that. You see the keyhole on the grave? I just